Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye. Nashtipraeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Yuktam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Yeah. So we're continuing our discussion on the second verse of the first chapter, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So yesterday in the purport we discussed how Prabhupada is describing that only the Param Dharma, which is the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is what is mentioned and that is what is prescribed in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Other dharmas, the four processes are not at all described in Srimad Bhagavatam. From the Bhagavatam, that is completely taken out. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. The four Purushartha. So now further, Prabhupada is writing, where were we? Now he describes about the impersonal personal aspect. The impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the highest. Most of the people in the world, they are always going after this Nirakar or Brahm Jyoti aspect of the Supreme Truth. And in their mind, this is the topmost destination of the soul, is to merge in Brahm Jyoti after we get realized and after we leave the body. But this is not the topmost. But this sounds very good. Oh, ultimately we are going to all merge in Brahm Jyoti, merge in God, and we all are Nirakar. But this is in a way, it's a very wrong philosophy. In Bhagavad Gita, there's a shloka that comes, it says that because people are afraid of the problems they face in the body when they have this body in the material world, that's why they can't even think of having a body in the spiritual world and where we're going to live forever, eternally. So they don't even want to conceive of that because there are so many problems in this body, but they don't understand. The spiritual body is completely different from the material body that we are in. Spiritual body is made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Material body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. Huge difference. There is no Sat, nothing eternal here, no knowledge here, and no Ananda here in this body. But the spiritual body is completely different. Spiritual realm is completely different. Spiritual world is completely different. There, everybody is happy. They are in blissful life. But the impersonalists, or those who want to follow this philosophy, they cannot conceive of that, or they don't want to even think of that. So for them, the ananda or the pleasure is, if I merge in Brahm Jyoti, I'm in light, I don't have to do anything, and I'm just there. That's it. But Prabhupada, so many places, he negated this philosophy. He spoke against it, he criticized it very much, saying that in this world, in this material life, when we are in this body, the soul is in this body, the soul is so active. Always soul wants to do something, and it is doing something. And at night also, when we are sleeping, although physically the soul is not doing anything, but soul again goes in dreams, sees things, or the mind is always working, something else is always going on. So how come when we are in bound state, when we are in conditioned state, we are so active, we want to do so many things. How come then when we get realized, we get free, we will not be doing anything? In Brahm Jyoti, there is no activity. You just be there and that's it. So it doesn't make sense. It's completely against the constitution position of the soul. But impersonalists, those Mayavadis, the Niragaris, they just believe in it and they are very happy believing in it. That's a Prabhupada writing. The impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the highest. Above the impersonal feature is a Paramatma feature. And above this is the personal feature of the absolute truth or Bhagavan. So there are three, impersonal feature is also one aspect of the supreme truth. The supreme truth is Bhagavan, then the Paramatma feature is also one aspect, and Brahm Jyoti is also one of the aspects of Bhagavan. So this is a verse that will come later on. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. So the supreme truth is shown or manifests himself in three aspects: Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahm Jyoti. But Brahm Jyoti is not the topmost. Brahm Jyoti is described as the effulgence of the body of Krishna. The effulgence, the light that is emanating from his body, that is Brahm Jyoti. So that's not the ultimate. Beyond this Brahm Jyoti, in Shri Ishopanishad, there's a verse that comes when the devotee is praying to the Supreme Lord. Please remove this dazzling light from my eyes so that I can see your face properly. So once this Brahm Jyoti, when the devotee or soul goes through Brahm Jyoti, then when he sees Krishna and the Krishna Loka, then he can understand what is the topmost destination. Srimad Bhagavatam gives information about the absolute truth in his personal feature. It is higher than impersonalist literatures and higher than the Gyan Kand division of the Vedas. So Gyan Kand, or just the knowledge without the personal feature of the Lord, that takes one to Brahm Jyoti feature. Yogis, the Hatha yogis who always meditate on the Paramatma in the super soul of Paramatma in their heart, they go to Paramatma. But it's the devotees, the bhaktas, they go to the Supreme Lord or the planets of the Supreme Lord. It is even higher than the Karma Kanda division and even higher than the Upasana Kanda division because it recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. It recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. Not just recommends the worship, it recommends the loving worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Karma Kanda, there is competition to reach heavenly planets for better sense gratification. And there is similar competition in the Jnana Kanda and the Upasana Kanda. In Karma Kanda, there is competition to reach heavenly planets. So everybody is trying to reach to a heavenly planet. Everybody means most of the people this day and age. What they want? They want better sense gratification here, and after the day, they want to go to heaven where they enjoy more. What is heaven? Heaven is just full of sense gratification. No preaching there, no bhakti there, no chanting, no deity worship, nothing. It just topmost sense gratification. Enjoy, just enjoy. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand even when one goes to heavenly planets, he still has to fall down again in the material world. Once his bank balance of pious activities are over, then he has to fall down again. So there is competition. And in Jnana Kand and Upasana Kand, there is also competition because in all those processes, one is not dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. One is dependent, or one makes progress based on his own capability, based on his own efforts. So when my efforts, my capability, my results are the topmost or the basis of my progress, then there will definitely be some enviousness involved. There could be some competition involved. When our basis of progress is mercy of the Supreme Lord, and the mercy comes when we serve Him properly in cooperation with others, then there is no question of any competition or any enviousness. That's why in bhakti process there cannot be any enviousness or competition. Although Prabhupada many times explained, in spiritual world there is competition between different gopis. But the competition is healthy competition in the sense that if one gopi sees the other one making beautiful garlands of Krishna, this gopi also wants to make very beautiful garlands of Krishna for the pleasure of Krishna. If there is enviousness, then if I see somebody making more better garland, then I would rather hide that garland or break that garland or tear it up and want to present my garland to Krishna so Krishna would enjoy. But Krishna knows what is going on in everybody's mind. So the process of bhakti is when competition is there, but it's not the competition of if I am pleased by my service, by my trying to please Krishna. The competition is we all want to serve Krishna, so let Krishna be more pleased. That competition is healthy competition. Otherwise it's enviousness. The Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to all these because it aims at the supreme truth, which is the substance or the root of all categories. From Srimad Bhagavatam, one can come to know the substance as well as the categories. The substance is the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord, and all emanations are relative forms of energy. So, from Srimad Bhagavatam, one can come to know the substance. Substance is the absolute truth or the Supreme Lord, as well as the categories, means different categories, different aspects that he manifests himself. And all emanations are relative forms of energy, means we all are emanations of Krishna, so we all are in, we come under different categories of energies. Nothing is apart from the substance, but at the same time, the energies are different from the substance. So nothing is apart, means we all are dependent on Krishna. We are not independent and we are not away from Krishna. We are in one of the energies. But at the same time, energies are different from the substance. Energy is not the same as energetic, but the energies are dependent on the source of energy. It's a little difficult to understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained it as Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. Means we, energy, the jivas, we are same and different at the same time from Krishna. Same in the sense, we all are spiritual, we all are his part and parcel, but different in the sense, quantitatively, we are different. Quantitatively, we are very, very, very minute. Qualitatively, we are same. So that way, yes, we are same and different. And also, it is in Bhagavad Gita, many places, Prabhupada mentions this when it comes to the description of the soul. Nityo Nityanam means we all are eternal. He is eternal, he is Nitya, and we all are different eternals, means the soul is eternal. But this minute, different eternals are dependent on that original eternal Krishna for their substance, for their sustenance. So we all are dependent on Krishna for our sustenance. Without him, we cannot sustain ourselves. Or without him or without his energies, different energies, we cannot sustain. So in a way we are same in the sense we are spiritual. Krishna is spiritual, we are spiritual, all the jivas are spiritual, and all are energies of Krishna. But at the same time, we are separate and we are different from him. Prabhupada is writing, this conception is not contradictory. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly promulgates this simultaneously one and different philosophy of the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadi Yasya Yata Sutra. To elaborate it further, that we are same and different at the same time, means we all are spirit souls, we all are energies of Krishna, but we all have different desires, or we can have different moods of serving Krishna. So that way also we are different. But same means we all are spirit souls. Even if when we now practically, how do we see that? When we go to office, when we deal with people at home or at work or in the market or in relationships, then we can understand everybody has a different viewpoint. Everybody has a different outlook of the life. But at the same time, understanding this philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we understand that we all are spirit souls. We are not somebody else. We all are spirit souls. We just have different outlooks because our sanskaras are different, our upbringing is different, our thought process is different. But so the difference is there, the variety is there, but at the same time, we all are same. That means we are all are spirit souls. So just like how much Krishna tolerates our differences, how much Krishna still provides for us despite our different opinions. Devotees have different opinion towards Krishna, and atheists have different opinions towards Krishna. Atheists don't even believe in him. Mayavadis say he doesn't even have a feet form, he doesn't even have hand or mouth or legs or anything. Still Krishna takes care of them. Animals, birds, trees, they cannot even have any thought towards Krishna. They're just living their lives according to the nature, governed by the nature. But still, Krishna is still taking care of them. He is very merciful towards them. So how much we should be accommodating everybody? Even in our family, everybody can have different opinion towards the Lord, towards bhakti, towards the absolute truth. Everybody can have different opinion, but we should be very accommodating with everybody. We cannot get fanatic and think that I can change everybody overnight. Even Krishna doesn't do that. He gives us independence. He gives us choice. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna preached this message of Bhagavad Gita, gave this message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and towards the end he told him, Arjuna, okay, now I have explained everything to you, now you do as you like. He still gave him a choice. He didn't force Arjuna to surrender and otherwise he will go to hell. He explained everything and gave him a choice. So even in our preaching, our day-to-day dealings, our outlook should be like that. We all are different. We all have different viewpoints. But still, we have to work with everybody and we have to cooperate. How much Krishna is expecting us to cooperate. How much Krishna is expecting us to facilitate, take care of everybody. So that's how we should be. Everybody is different. This knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is an answer to the mental speculators' attempt to establish the energy as an absolute. When this knowledge is factually understood, one sees the conception of monism and dualism to be imperfect. Development of this transcendental consciousness, grounded in the conception of simultaneously one and different, leads one immediately to the stage of freedom from the threefold miseries. So development of this transcendental consciousness, that we are simultaneously one and different, immediately leads one to freedom from threefold miseries. This is what also this word comes in the verse, that tapatreo unmulanam. Three kinds of miseries. One immediately gets freedom from those miseries. The threefold miseries are those miseries which arise from the mind and body. Second, those miseries inflicted by other living beings. And third, those miseries arising from natural catastrophes over which one has no control. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the devotee unto the absolute person. Bhagavad Gita ends where Krishna asks, Sarva Dharman Pariteja Mamekam Sharanam Praja, means you surrender unto me. And here Prabhupada is writing, Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the devotee unto the absolute truth. So this is how Bhagavatam is beginning. The devotee is fully aware that he is one with the absolute and at the same time in the eternal position of the servant to the absolute. So see the simultaneous one and difference means devotee is fully aware that he is one with the absolute, and means we all are spiritual beings, and at the same time in the eternal position of the servant of the absolute. In the material conception, one falsely thinks himself the lord of all his surveys, and therefore he is always troubled by the threefold miseries of life. In the material conception, one falsely thinks he is the lord of everything he surveys. Means because a material conception begins with I am this body. And when I think I am this body and I am the controller of everything, then that's when the threefold miseries come into play. Means miseries given by my body and mind, miseries given by others, and miseries given by natural disturbances. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there is no possibility of his becoming servant of the Supreme. Service to the Supreme is rendered in pure consciousness of one's pure spiritual identity. By service, one is immediately free from material encumbrances. This is how to get rid of this competitive mentality, or the even hard beyond that, the envious mentality, is by doing service. So as soon as we are rendering service to the Lord, or service to the devotees of the Lord, service to the energies of the Lord. Everybody is a devotee. People don't know it yet. That's a different story. But everybody, every energy, everybody is energy of Krishna. So for us, everybody is related to Krishna. And when we are engaged in the service of everybody and the Supreme Lord, this tendency of enviousness comes out of the heart. And when the enviousness comes out of the heart, then we are properly situated in the service of the Lord, in the pure devotion service of the Lord. So I'll stop here and ask anybody has any questions or comments. I'll unmute you all.
Competition 28 फरवरी के पहले अपने POS सबमिट करें only on www.paymoneyfornewindia.com.
Okay, Girish Prabhu.
Entry is also welcome.
Okay, anybody else any questions?
I have a question. You
Please,
have just told us that if anyone can render service only if the person is if the person is pure or the consciousness is pure. I hope I'm saying the right thing. This is what I have understood. But what if we are not pure? pure, we know that, and we have a lot of desires, material desires, and of course we get angry also, we get anger, and we are not free from all these things. But still, if we render little service, I am not sure whether it is in pure consciousness or not, but even if it is not in pure consciousness, if we render little service, are these services are accepted by the Lord?
Yeah. Maybe I didn't say it properly. I don't think I meant that we can only do service when we are pure. We do service and gradually we become pure. So
Okay.
obviously we have to keep on doing our services and understanding the philosophy that we all are spirit souls, we all are servants of Krishna.
But these services are accepted by the Lord. This is my
Oh yeah,
question.
definitely.
Okay.
And like you said, no, we have material desires, we have anger, all of us have. Nobody is bereft of that. But now, since we are in this process of bhakti, we have to be conscious of it and we have to consciously try to control that anger. Anger actually arises from when my material desires are not fulfilled. That's when we get angry. So we try to control, understanding that Krishna is my well-wishing friend. So whatever he is giving, it cannot be harmful to me. Whatever he is giving, it's the best for me. If I have my very good friend who's always looking after me, whatever he does for me, that will be best for me. So how can I get angry for getting the best things? I might not see it as the best, but this is what Krishna thinks is the best for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Prabhuji.
welcome. You're welcome. Hare Krishna, Archana Mataji, good to see you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Purna Mataji, kaise hain?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Mata.
What is the best way to serve Krishna?
Best way in this day and age that he recommends is by chanting his holy name. And when we chant his holy name, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is basically asking for service. So chanting is one of the service. Like somebody asked Prabhupada, what are you expecting to get by chanting? And Prabhupada said, more chanting. So chanting is the topmost service, but along with chanting, since our mind is not that much in control, so other services also there, like offering bhoga to Krishna, taking care of the deities, reading the literature, giving the literatures to others. And we can at the same time render service to the humanity by giving them prasad, giving them the holy name, preaching to them, giving them the knowledge. And if still they're not ready for that, at least we can do some social service.
Okay.
So the mood of service should come, that I am a servant, I should go and serve. I should go work for the betterment, for the upliftment of everybody. That mood has to be there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
बोलो हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. So, should we stop here?
अब और बोलना है
नहीं और नहीं बोल सकते 108
Okay, we'll stop here then. You all have a very nice day. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.